Hey, it's Al with Ballista. Welcome to Monday morning and our startup stories. Today I want to take a few minutes to talk about the strategic planning process for a startup. And it's slightly different for a startup versus an established organization, mostly because where you're starting out at is a different place. When you're already established, where you want to go is almost predefined to a certain level. Whereas as a startup, you're really creating a new endpoint for yourself. But that's really the key. You want to create an endpoint. Where do you want to end up throughout this process? Now, with a strategic plan, you really want to look 3 to 5 years in the future, and you want to have a good idea of where you end up. Stephen Covey, in his 7 Habits book, wrote that you always want to start with the end in mind. So what is the end that you want to be at in 3 to 5 years? Now, what that looks like is very much individual to you and your company. Some of the questions that you might want to consider asking: is it about money? Is it about market share? Is it about total sales? There are a lot of other questions that you can actually ask yourself when trying to figure out what that end looks like, but those are really 3 of the most generic ones that I think a lot of people consider in the strategic planning process. Once you have defined where you want to be, then work your way back to what needs to happen in order to get there. Now, next week, we're actually going to talk more about goal setting, which is going to give us an even better idea of what those steps to backtrack look like. And once we backtrack, then we can actually create the tactical steps that you need to take on a day-to-day basis. What does today need to look like in order to reach tomorrow through that strategic planning process? So I wanted to take a few minutes to really get you thinking about where do you want to end up over the next 3 to 5 years. If you can't think 3 to 5 years in the future, that's okay. We can always shorten that time frame. Where do you want to be in a year? What does your business look like? How many clients do you want to have? How much income do you want to be bringing in? How much profit? How many employees do you want to have? These are all wonderful questions to think about because these questions help you in that process of getting to where you want to be. So think about those questions over the coming week. Next week, when we come back for Startup Stories on Monday, we're going to talk about specific goal setting steps that you can take to make sure that your strategic plan is really hitting the points that you need it to hit. In the meantime, hit the subscribe button below so you can get messages of when we post our new videos. On Wednesdays, we'll be back with our marketing minutes, and on Friday, we'll be back with our strategy boosts. Also, find us on LinkedIn or Facebook under Ballista Management. We'd love to have a conversation with you. In the meantime, go ahead and comment down here. Let us know what you think about the strategic planning process, and let's have a conversation about it. We'll talk to you Wednesday.